Welcome back to Investing Talk Podcast. We're the place where we take our deep dives into fascinating topics and really try to unearth crucial insights from your information. Today, we're tackling a question that's, well, it's on a lot of minds, especially in this fast-moving world of digital assets. Is HIVE digital technologies a good time to buy now?
Yeah, that's the big question. We've got a pretty comprehensive investment analysis on HIVE right here. And our mission today is really to unpack it all. Look at the fundamentals, the technical market movements, the risks involved. We want to give you a really clear picture of what's actually going on with this company. Everything from their financials to market sentiment, maybe what's coming down the pike that could change things.
Yeah. Okay, sounds good. Let's peel back the layers on this one then. But just quickly first, if you're finding these deep dives valuable, and we hope you are, please think about hitting that subscribe button, maybe give us a like, or leave a comment. Your support, it honestly helps us bring more of these explorations to you. And hey, if you're feeling, extra generous, you can even buy us a coffee. Keeps us fueled for the next big research session. All right. HIVE digital technologies, let's kick things off with their foundation. What are they really all about?
Well, what's really interesting here, I think, is HIVE's strategic position. They run these big data centers, right? And they're focused on cryptocurrency mining, blockchain infrastructure. But here's the kicker, like you hear a lot these days. They're powered by green energy, explicitly. And that's not just, good PR. It gives them a real competitive niche. They're kind of at the intersection of crypto assets and sustainable energy, both growing sectors.
The green energy focus. Yeah, that definitely sounds promising, doesn't it? But okay, strategy aside for a moment. How are the financials? Do they stack up? What are the numbers telling us about their actual health right now?
Right, the numbers. So the analysis shows HIVE reported trailing 12 months revenue of about $115.28 million. So, that definitely shows they can generate sales or bringing money in the door. However, and this is pretty crucial to note, they're not currently profitable. They had a net loss of $3 million, which works out to a negative EPS, earnings per share, of minus 0.02.
Okay, so losing a couple of cents per share.
Exactly, which, isn't totally unusual in a high-growth phase, especially with big infrastructure costs. It often suggests they're investing heavily back into the business, operations, expansion. But it's definitely something to be aware of. The specific debt and cash flow trends weren't detailed in this particular report.
Got it. That's a critical point. So bringing in decent revenue, but still operating in the red. Given that lack of profitability, how do you even start to, put a value on a company like this? Traditional metrics must be pretty tricky to apply, right?
Yeah, you've hit on a really important question there. You're absolutely right. Traditional metrics like the PE ratio, price to earnings, well, they just don't work when earnings are negative. You can't divide by zero, essentially. And details on discounted cash flow analysis weren't available here either. But if we look at the bigger picture, how analysts are viewing it, it's quite telling. There's actually a strong buy consensus for HIVE among the professionals who follow it.
A strong buy, even with the losses.
Yeah. Their average price target is around $6.57. Now, compare that to a current price, which is hovering around $2.21. That's a massive potential upside, like 183%. And some forecasts even go up towards almost $6.80 within a year. So clearly, market watchers are seeing significant potential there, looking past the current profitability, I think, betting on that future growth and the green angle.
Okay, so fundamentals are, let's say, a mixed bag. Revenue's there, profit isn't yet. But the analysts are, wow, quite optimistic. That's an interesting split. So beyond those projections, how is the stock itself actually behaving? What does the technical analysis tell us about its price action and recent trends?
Well, as you might expect with anything crypto-related, the price action for HIVE is pretty volatile. The current price is around $2.21, like I said. But look at the 52-week range. It's been as low as $1.26 and as high as $5.54. That's a huge swing.
Yeah, that's quite a range.
And here's a number that really tells the story. Its beta is 5.30.
5.30. Wow. Explain beta quickly for us again.
Sure. So think of the overall market having a beta of 1. A stock with a beta of 2 tends to move twice as much as the market, up or down. HIVE's beta of 541. Well, it means it's incredibly sensitive to market movements, swings much, much more dramatically. Definitely not a stock for someone who doesn't like volatility. Huge potential, yes, but also, significant potential drops.
Okay, volatility is definitely the key word then, a real roller coaster. What about its more recent momentum? Are we seeing any clearer short-term trends?
Well, if we look at the moving averages, the 50-day simple moving average, the SMA, that smooths out recent prices, it's around $1.91. Since the current price is above that, it does suggest some recent upward momentum. Buyers have stepped in lately.
Okay.
However, the 200-day SMA, which gives a longer-term picture, that's sitting up around $2.68. So the price is still below that longer-term trend line. It's not a clear, confirmed long-term breakout just yet.
I see. So short term up, but longer term still needs to prove itself.
Exactly. And another indicator, the 14-day relative strength index, the RSI,
Hmm.
it's currently quite high, around 72.7. Generally, an RSI above 70 is seen as potentially overbought.
Meaning it's run up maybe too fast, too soon.
Oh, yeah, potentially. It suggests the stock has had a strong run recently and might be due for a pause or pullback. So, caution on timing might be advised right now. The overall trend is upward, but definitely choppy.
Okay, so we've got the fundamentals, the analyst views, the technical picture. Beyond the hard numbers and charts, what's the general, the vibe around HIVE? What are the analysts saying overall, and what's the broader market sentiment telling us?
Right, the mood. Well, as we mentioned, the analyst consensus is that strong buy. That points to very positive sentiment, high expectations from the pros. But interestingly, if you look at the broader market sentiment, like the fear and greed index, it's currently at 39. That indicates mild fear, a generally cautious market environment overall.
Huh. So the analysts are bullish on HIVE specifically, but the general market is feeling a bit fearful.
Exactly. It's quite a split. It suggests maybe the analysts are looking more at HIVE's specific story, that green mining niche, the long-term potential, while the broader market might still be a bit spooked by overall crypto volatility or, macroeconomic concerns.
That's a really interesting tension.
Yeah, it is.
So looking ahead then, every stock needs something to push it right, potential catalyst. For HIVE, what should investors be keeping an eye out for? What could really move the needle here?
The most immediate thing, the most concrete date is their next earnings release. That's scheduled for August 11th, 2025. That'll give us fresh financials, management commentary, and those releases can definitely move the price significantly, one way or the other.
Right, earnings are always key.
Definitely. Longer term, though, it's really about those bigger sector catalysts. Things like wider adoption of green energy practices within crypto mining, that's huge for them. Any new regulatory developments around blockchain and crypto, that's always a factor. And of course, just the overall price movements in Bitcoin and other major cryptocurrencies, HIVD's fortunes are definitely tied to that.
Makes sense.
As for company-specific things like major M&A activity or big new product launches, there's nothing reported right at this moment. So it's mainly earnings and those broader sector shifts.
Okay. We've heard about the potential, the green angle, the analyst optimism, but no investment is risk-free,
Right.
especially in a space like this. What are the key risks for HIVE that listeners absolutely need to be aware of?
Well, number one, we have to come back to that beta, 5.30. That high volatility is a major stock-specific risk. It means the potential for large, rapid losses is real. And you couple that with the fact they aren't profitable yet, those profitability challenges are still a significant hurdle.
Right, the path to profit isn't guaranteed.
Exactly. Then, sector-wise, you've got, well, a lot. Cryptocurrency regulation is still a big question mark globally. Technology and mining changes incredibly fast. What's efficient today might not be tomorrow. And of course, those wild swings in crypto market sentiment we talked about, that impacts everything in the space.
And broader economy stuff.
Yeah, macroeconomic factors too, like overall crypto market health, obviously, but also things like energy prices that directly hits their costs, even if it's green energy. And interest rate trends can affect funding costs and investor appetite for riskier assets. Now, on maybe a slightly brighter note regarding risk management, the average daily trading volume is pretty high, around 23.7 million shares.
Meaning it's easy to get in and out?
Generally, yes, it indicates good liquidity. So you should be able to buy or sell shares relatively easily without your own trade drastically moving the price. That's a positive.
Okay, so let's try and wrap this all up. What's the bottom line here? We've got this company, HIVE, positioned in a high-growth sector, the green crypto niche. Strong analyst optimism, pretty good liquidity, but on the other hand, it's not profitable yet, and it's incredibly volatile. So like a real high-stakes play.
That sums it up pretty well. Exactly. When we put all these pieces together, the final evaluation in this analysis gives HIVE a 7 out of 10.
Okay, 7-10.
Yeah. So it definitely presents a promising opportunity, no doubt. but it is fundamentally a speculative one at this stage. Because of that lack of current profitability, the high volatility, its dependence on the wider crypto market, it's not a safe bet. This makes it, I think, more suitable for investors who have a higher tolerance for risk, and probably those looking at a medium to long-term horizon, really aiming to capture that potential sector growth in green crypto.
So not for short-term traders necessarily.
Well, for those considering a shorter-term approach, the analysis does suggest maybe looking for entry points strategically, perhaps around those support levels we saw, maybe in the $2.10, $2.30 range, preferably closer to the lower end given the swings. And absolutely crucial for any approach, short or long-term, is having a clear plan. That means knowing your exit points, a stop-loss order to limit potential downside, maybe 10-15% below your entry, say a $1.85, $1.90 perhaps. And also having targets to take profits, maybe gradually as it approaches those analyst projections up in the $5 to $6 plus range. It's really about managing that risk.
Right. Strategy and risk tolerance are key. So HIV seems to be for those who can stomach the wild ride of the crypto market and who really believe in that long-term story of sustainable green crypto mining. And here's maybe a final thought to chew on. If the world really does embrace sustainable crypto practices in a big way, how quickly could a company like HIV, even though they're not profitable now, become, well, not just a player, but maybe an essential piece of that future financial and energy infrastructure? And what kind of ripple effects could that have on the energy sector, on how we even define valuable assets? Definitely something to think about as you consider the whole future of digital finance.